Hello, my name is Mitch.
I'm Justin,
Tyler.
Rachel.
and we're going to demonstrate how to construct and test an AC circuit in Multisim and on the bench.
Thanks for watching.
Only one I see. V is very, very extra.
My name is Justin, and I'm going to demonstrate how to construct the AC circuit on Multisim for testing. We've decided to use a 1.5 k ohm resistor for resistor 1, a 4.7 k ohm resistor for resistor 2. Our voltage source is AC 10 voltage peak to peak at 1 kilohertz. I've already done the math to get our RMS, which is 3.535 volts RMS. So first thing I'm going to do is jump in here, go to sources, grab our AC power source, place it on the board. While we're over here, we're also going to grab our ground and put it down here. We'll go over now to our basic category. I'm going to grab the resistors that we need. So the first one is our 1.5 k ohm, not 11.5 k ohm. Put that up here. We're also going to grab our 4.7 k. Put that over here. We'll flip this guy around. And I'm going to connect everything up. And we'll attach our ground. And for clarity's sake, I'll change the net color here to black for the ground. We'll go ahead and put our testing instruments in here. I'm gonna go to indicators, grab a couple voltmeters, place the vertical ones in here. This one is going to test the voltage source, and this one will test RMS on resistor 2. We'll go ahead and I'll configure our AC source here for our RMS voltage, which is the 3.535 and our 1 kilohertz frequency. Gonna make sure these guys are set for AC. And connect them in parallel to our voltage source and R2 to test them. And the last thing we're going to do is grab the oscilloscope. We'll put it up here. Channel A is going to monitor the entire circuit or the voltage source, while channel B is going to monitor R2. And I will change the colors here just so it's something easier to read on the oscilloscope screen. I'll use a nice blue for channel A and a yellow for channel 2. At this point, we are ready to run the circuit and do some analysis. As you can see, the very first readings we can get right off the bat is our RMS voltage. So we've got our RMS voltage for the voltage source, and we've got our RMS voltage for the resistor 2. We will then go into the oscilloscope to take readings for period and frequency.
Hey guys, after we put together our circuit, we went ahead and we need to measure the voltage source and the resistor 2. We went ahead and had this value as our VRMS. We measured it right here with our voltmeter, and we've measured the volt RMS again on our resistor 2 right here. The way I did this is I went ahead and pushed run up here at the play. I played it, and then I stopped it to get that value down there. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do it on the oscilloscope. I went ahead and pulled up my oscilloscope right here. You can go ahead and set it like this so that you can have both of them, but to do measurements I just want one of them up. So I'm going to have my channel A up, which is my voltage source, and I'm going to measure voltage peak to peak. I'm going to pull my number 2 over here, my number 1 over here. You go ahead and right click on number 2. You want to put it your Y at your max for your number 2, not your number 1. Go ahead and Y max. Then you're going to put your number 1 at your Y min. And then if you look right down here, this is our voltage from peak to peak is 9.983. Now what I'm going to do is measure the period. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull my 1 right over here close to 0. But then I'm going to make it actual 0. Going here, typing in 0, enter. It went to a 0. Now I'm going to pull this all the way over here. I want 1 full cycle. So I'm going to pull my number 2 close to it. Right click. And set value 0 again. And then if you look right down here for the time, I got 1 millisecond. Now after doing this, for my voltage source, I want to do it for my resistor 2, so I'm going to zero out channel A, which was my voltage source, go to my channel 2, and put it up there. And we are going to do the voltage peak. I'm going to pull my 2 over here. I'm going to make sure I'm clicked on my actual voltage, and right click Y max. We're doing the same exact thing that we did last time. I'm going to go right click Y min, and as you can see right here, my channel B, which is my resistor 2, is 7.567. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my period. And once again, you want 1 full cycle, so be sure to pull your 1 over here. Right click, set Y value 0. 1 full cycle. It has to go up and then down. Do it. Set Y value 0. Enter. That went too far, so since it went too far, I'm going to pull it back over here. Try it one more time. And it's 1 millisecond. The reason why I knew that it went too far was because when I looked down at my measurement, it said 1.5, and I know that can't happen, so I knew it went too far and pulled it back over, redid it, and now it says 1 millisecond. Thank you guys.
My name is Justin Foley. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to set up an AC circuit on the bench. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the digital multimeter to the function generator in the oscilloscope by connecting the positive leads to the positive leads and the negative leads to the negative leads. Now that everything is connected, I'm going to adjust the equipment to be at 10 volts peak to peak at 1 kilohertz. So giving our calculations, the 10 volts peak to peak becomes 5 volts peak, and you have 3.535 volts RMS. I am now going to adjust the function generator to give the proper voltage on the multimeter. So we adjust the range. We're looking at 3.535 volts. Now that that is dialed in, we can go ahead and connect up our circuit. I'm going ahead and connect the function generator into the circuit. We've used a 1.5 kilo ohm resistor for resistor 1. We've used a 4.7 kilo ohm resistor for resistor 2. I'm going to go ahead and connect channel 1 on our oscilloscope to measure the entire circuit or the voltage source. And I will connect our digital multimeter to test your RMS voltage through resistor 2. And last but not least, I will connect channel 2 on our oscilloscope to record for across resistor 2. The circuit is now completely set up and ready to test.
Love is all that I can give.
Right, so now that you have your circuit built, the very first reading you can take is actually your VRMS over the resistor 2. You can see I have my multimeter connected to resistor 2, and our reading is 2.649 voltage RMS across that resistor.
To you, love.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'll be showing you how to set up using the old school method of figuring out your voltage peak to peak, voltage RMS, period of frequency for both your voltage source and your resistor 2. We'll start with the voltage source. So after we get everything all set up, I'm going to head over to the oscilloscope. Position, bring it all the way down, over, and then we'll be counting up to whatever we need. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.2 roughly divisions up. So then we'll go over and we'll calculate that out, taking the 5.2 divisions, multiplying it by the voltage, which is 2 volts. And then we'll get 10.4 voltage peak to peak. And then figuring out the voltage RMS, we're going to take the basically the amount of divisions, which is 5.2, and multiplying that by 0.707, and then we'll get 3.6764. Now we're going to move on to the period. We'll get that set up on here. Center it and bring it over. That way we can calculate a little bit better. And then we'll count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 divisions over. We'll take the 5 divisions and multiply it by the amount of time the divisions are. So that's 200 microseconds. And then we'll get 0.001 second in the end. And then to calculate the frequency, basically divide 1 by the amount of time we got, and then we'll get 1,000 hertz. And then going over to resistor 2. Oops. Go ahead and turn off channel 1, turn on channel 2, and start over from the beginning. Bring it down to where we need it to and over. Went away. There it is. And then we'll count out the divisions that we have. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's not quite 4, so we'll go roughly 3.9 divisions up. And then we'll take the 3.9 divisions, multiply that by 2 volts, and we'll get 7.8 voltage peak to peak. And then going on to the voltage RMS, we do the 0.707 times the amount of divisions we had, 3.9, and then we get 2.7573. And then the period, scale it back and center it. There we go. And then we'll move it over to where we can better calculate it and count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions again. And then we'll multiply the 5 divisions by the amount of time, 200 microseconds, and we come out with 0.001 second. And get the frequency, we divide the amount of time that we got by 1, and we'll get 1000 hertz.
Is more than just a game for children.
Hello everyone, my name is Min, and my part on this is I'm gonna show you how to measuring across voltage with the new school method. And here you can see the circuits are already built. First of all, in order to measure across voltage source, we go to channel 1, and we're gonna measure V peak to peak. We hit channel 1, turn on channel 2, go to measure, and then we scroll down to voltage, and then we scroll down to V peak to peak, hit the knob, and you can see over here the V peak to peak is 10.2 voltage. That's the across voltage. And then we hit clear. Now we're gonna do the measuring across voltage, VRMS. Same thing, hit measure, go to voltage, go down to VRMS, hit the knob, and here you can see the VRMS should be around 3.48 voltage. You hit clear, go to measure. Now we're gonna do the measuring period of time by the new school method. Go to time, hit the period should be right in front of you. Just hit the knob, and the period of time is around 1.004 milliseconds. Hit clear, and then we're gonna do the frequency. Hit time, go down to frequency, it's right below period. Hit the knob, and it is around 1 kilohertz. Now we're gonna do measuring the across resistors too. And let's look at the circuit one more time. And now you're gonna have to switch off channel 1, turn on channel 2, bring this up a little bit, bring this wider so it's easier to see. Alright, so hit measure, go to, now we're gonna measure the V peak to peak of the across the resistor 2, go voltage, go to V peak to peak, hit it. Give me 1 second. Alright, now we're gonna switch to channel, we turn off channel 1, switch to channel 2, go to measure, and as you can see over here, set channel 1, change to channel 2. First we're gonna do the measuring V peak to peak. Same thing, go to voltage, switch down to V peak to peak, hit enter, and you can see the number shown over here is 7.68 voltage. Clear it. In measure sections again, now we're gonna measure the VRMS. Go to voltage, go down to VRMS. it is now showing us 2.72 voltage. Hit clear. Still in the measure section. Now we're gonna measure the period of time. Go to time section, go to period, and it should show you right in front of it. And you can see over here, time is around 1.00 millisecond. And then now we're gonna hit clear, and then now we're gonna go for the measure frequency. Go to time again, and it's right down below period. Hit it, and it's showing you right here. It is 1 kilohertz. And that's how you measuring across voltage and across resistor 2 by New School method.
Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and